Michael Thomas Lewis is accused of repeated and continued harassment of the 22-year-old Clark beginning on December 16, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office wrote in a Saturday court filing. Jail records show Lewis is due in court on Tuesday. Lewis posted numerous messages on Clark's X account, according to an affidavit from a Marion County Sheriff's lieutenant. In one, he said he had been driving by the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, one of the arenas where the Fever plays home games 3 times a day, and in another he said he had one foot on a banana peel and the other on a stalking charge. Other messages directed at Clark were sexually explicit. The posts actually caused Caitlin Clark to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, or threatened, and an implicit or explicit threat also was made with the intent to place Caitlin Clark in reasonable fear of sexual battery, prosecutors wrote in the Marion County Superior Court filing. The FBI learned that the X account belonged to Lewis and that the messages were sent from IP addresses at an Indianapolis hotel and downtown public library. Indianapolis police spoke with Lewis on January 8 at his hotel room. He told officers he was in Indianapolis on vacation. When asked why he was making so many posts about Clark, Lewis replied, "Just the same reason everybody makes posts," according to court documents. He told police that he didn't mean any harm and told them he fantasized about being in a relationship with Clark. "It's an imagination, fantasy type thing and it's a joke, and it's nothing to do with threatening," he told police, according to the court documents. Texas man has been arrested for stalking Caitlin Clark after he moved to Indianapolis and reportedly sent the Indiana Fever star a series of messages on social media. Michael Lewis, 55, of Texas was arrested at a hotel in Indianapolis on Sunday after police say he traveled over 1,000 miles to get closer to Clark. As per Fox 59 News anchor Angel Benote, authorities in Indianapolis first spoke with Lewis on January 8 after discovering that a series of disturbing posts directed at Clark were coming from IP addresses while he was staying at a hotel on North Market Street. "I'm getting tickets. I'm sitting behind the bench," Lewis wrote to Clark in one message, according to court documents. Looking at Lewis' X account, it appears he began sending messages to Clark on December 16. While they initially appeared harmless and made little sense, they began to change with time. "This fantasy Caitlin relationship is changing me for the better. And about an hour ago I felt strong Caitlin feelings. Like sensual. Wow," he wrote on December 27. A day later he implied that he was already facing a stalking charge while writing, "I already have one foot on a banana peel and the other on a stalking charge. So I won't be able to wear a hoodie. Won't look good in court." Clark alerted Indianapolis Metro Police about the messages, which were described as threatening and sexually violent. He reportedly told cops that he was in an imaginary relationship with the basketball star and continued to send her messages, which resulted in his arrest over the weekend. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears praised Clark for coming forward and setting an example for all women. "No matter how prominent a figure you are, this case shows that online harassment can quickly escalate to actual threats of physical violence," Mears said. "It takes a lot of courage for women to come forward in these cases, which is why many don't. In doing so, the victim is setting an example for all women who deserve to live and work in Indy without the threat of sexual violence." Michael Lewis was arrested at a hotel in Indianapolis. According to a report from the U.S. Sun, citing court documents, the 55-year-old Lewis had been harassing Clark since December 16. It added that Lewis traveled 900 miles from Denton, Texas to Indianapolis to get closer to the 22-year-old Clark. She reported Lewis to the authorities. The Federal Bureau of Investigation was then able to ping an Internet Protocol address on one of Lewis' messages to the Hilton Garden Hotel and apprehended him. Based on court documents, Lewis told Clark that he had been driving around her house 3 times a day. "But don't call the law just yet," reportedly added Lewis. He also allegedly said he would buy tickets to watch Clark play and he'll be sitting behind the bench. The report noted that the Indianapolis Metro Police ordered Lewis to stop messaging the WNBA Rookie of the Year but continued to do so. According to a report from ESPN, citing police records, Lewis was charged with a Level 5 felony and is scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday. If proven guilty, he could face up to 6 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Fans expressed concern for Clark's safety when the news broke out. Her popularity grew even more when she entered the WNBA in 2024, making her one of the biggest athletes in the United States. She revealed that she had to hire an advanced security team when she attended huge public events. A Texas man was arrested for allegedly stalking and sending sexually violent messages to Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Michael Thomas Lewis, 55, was charged with stalking, threatening sexual battery or death, Fox 59 reported, citing court documents. The charge is considered to be a level 5 felony. Lewis allegedly sent Clark sexually violent messages through his ex account. One message said he had been driving around her house multiple times and encouraged her not to call the law just yet. He also allegedly spoke of going to a Fever game and sitting behind the bench. Authorities talked to Lewis about the messages on January 8, according to the station. He reportedly told authorities he was going to Indianapolis for vacation and downplayed the number of messages he sent to the WNBA sharpshooter. Thomas told authorities the messages weren't threatening and called it a fantasy-type thing and a joke. Clark reportedly alerted authorities to the messages and said she had become fearful over the words sent to her. It takes a lot of courage for women to come forward in these cases, which is why many don't, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said, via Fox 59. In doing so, the victim is setting an example for all women who deserve to live and work in Indy without the threat of sexual violence. The arrest of Lewis came nearly a month after an Oregon man pleaded guilty to stalking UConn Huskies women's basketball star Paige Bueckers. Robert Cole Parmalee, 40, was arrested in August and was found with an engagement ring and lingerie while walking near Bradley International Airport in Connecticut. He said he intended to marry Bueckers. "I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me the past years, and I'm working with them together and finding a next home for me. I've already played my last game in Dallas." During the media duty for the unrivaled 3x3 league, Sato Sabally confirmed her parting ways with the franchise. The free agent had received a lot of support from the other team's fan base, especially the Indiana Fever, but it seems AI has another answer. The New York Liberty would be an ideal fit for Sato Sabally. Their fast-paced offense and focus on floor spacing would maximize her versatility as a forward who can score, rebound, and facilitate. Thanks to ChatGPT, there is a possible destination, and the tool also harped on the forward's ability. With the Liberty already boasting a strong core of stars like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, Sabally's addition could provide even greater depth and positional flexibility, helping the team contend for a championship. No doubt, the Oregon Ducks' dynamic duo reunion of Sabrina Ionescu and Sato Sabally sounds exciting. To add more smoke to the rumors, both of them are playing for the same team, Phantom BC, in Unrivaled's inaugural season. Ionescu even added on Instagram a photo of the two hugging, "Back with my girlie," adding white hearts. Sabally reposted it. It was not the only post where she left hearts that had fans over the moon. But let's not forget that won't be easy since she signed a 3-year, $226,668 contract with the Fever in 2022. But she was unhappy about her minutes. So, in the end, 2X All-Star has two solid options with the Fever or a reunion with Ionescu. But will a third option emerge? There was no secret that the 6'4" star was a free agent. Back in October, a tweet by Clark Report stated, "Sato Sabally confirms she will be a free agent this year." That tweet, which has close to 150K views, also consisted of a screenshot of the 26-year-old liking Fever fans' comments. One such comment was, "Fever will welcome you." Even recently, the fan base has once again urged the front office to do the same. The Indianapolis franchise for some time now expressed issues with Lisa Smith and her performance. Even though Timmy Fagbinal's performance wasn't up to her usual standards, her experience meant a lot. Since the Fever did not protect the 32-year-old, the Valkyries drafted her, which left fans wondering what's next for their franchise. In her last 2 seasons with Dallas, has averaged an impressive 18.4 points and 7.6 rebounds per game. Adding her to the Fever could transform the front court alongside Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. To make matters interesting, Indy Star's Chloe Peterson detailed Sato Sabally's situation. As per that report, Fever could trade for the forward if they are successful in letting go of Lisa Smith. Michael Lewis, a 55-year-old Texas man, was arrested after prosecutors say he stalked Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Lewis was charged on January 12, 2025, felony stalking, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office said in a news release. Lewis is accused of sending numerous threats and sexually explicit messages to Clark via his social media accounts, the prosecutor's office said in the release. He was arrested in Indianapolis. Over the course of the investigation, it was discovered that Lewis' recent messages came from IP addresses in Indianapolis and that he was staying at a hotel in the 100 block of Market Street, the news release said. When visited by officers with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, IMPD, on January 8 concerning these messages, Lewis acknowledged it was an imaginary relationship. Despite the encounter with law enforcement, the messages continued. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said in a statement emailed to Heavy, "No matter how prominent a figure you are, this case shows that online harassment can quickly escalate to actual threats of physical violence. It takes a lot of courage for women to come forward in these cases, which is why many don't. In doing so, the victim is setting an example for all women who deserve to live and work in Indy without the threat of sexual violence." We commend Pacers Sports and Entertainment and the Marion County Sheriff's Office for the swift and serious action that led to this weekend's arrest. Lewis faces 1 to 6 years in prison on the Level 5 felony charge along with a fine of up to $10,000. Lewis remained in custody at the Marion County Adult Detention Center with no bond set as of January 13, according to online records. His next court hearing is scheduled for January 14, 2025 at 9 a.m. in one of the posts referenced in court documents. Prosecutors say Lewis wrote, "I already have one foot on a banana peel and the other on a stalking charge, so I won't be able to wear a hoodie. Won't look good in court." In another he wrote, "They said I was sending threatening texts, but the only though on my mind.